So according to GamesRadar.com, there's reports of Nintendo showing off a new souped-up version of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on its new next-gen console. Today's video, I've got a list of 5 games that I would love to see developers give this polish to, because reports have it that the new console is going to be backwards compatible, both digitally and physically, which is pretty exciting, let's face it. And like I say, we'll have the ability to enhance these games. So guys, let's dive straight into the list. These are some of my favourite games of all time. I have no qualms with them whatsoever, but a little polish is only going to make them look even better than they already do. So to get us started with this list is the game that Nintendo are reportedly showcasing a souped-up version of, and that is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now this is one of the most smooth, glitch-free games I've played on the console. It's absolutely gorgeous, and personally, whilst I don't think it does need too much of an update, if Nintendo have got a souped-up version out there, I want to see it. So yeah, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, it makes it first on this list. Now, I promise you this will be the last Zelda game on the list, but I do need to talk about how improvements could be made on a next-gen console to make Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening the remake run better than it does. The frame rate issues when moving between screens here are pretty bad. It drops drastically, it's extremely noticeable, and that's coming from someone that doesn't particularly pick up on things like that, but it definitely does. And it's such a shame because the original Link's Awakening is my favourite Zelda game of all time, and this looks absolutely incredible, but with those frame rate issues it's just such a letdown. In a sense, it'd be really nice to see this improved upon with a patch when the next gen console releases. So folks, I've always been a huge fan of the Pokemon franchise, and I've completed at least one game from every generation since the first generation. Except I couldn't get through Pokemon Violet, and that is just simply because the frame rate issues regarding NPCs, I swear, were something like down to 5. And then you were getting objects flashing in and out of the screens. You'd catch Pokemon. If you were on a slope, the Pokeballs were hovering in thin air. Honestly, it feels as though the issues regarding this are endless. Now, in all honesty, do I think that this will get a next-gen patch? Nope, I really don't think they'll ever revisit this gen in terms of making some major fixes. But we can only hope, right? Because let's face it, the Pokemon franchise deserves it. Next up is a game that by no means suffers with the same issues as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and that is the love child of Harvest Moon and Final Fantasy, Harvestella. Actually, it runs very well indeed. If you've not played it and you like your farming sims and RPGs, I highly recommend it. It does suffer, especially in handheld mode, with that Nintendo Switch haze that a lot of bigger games do, and for that reason and that reason alone, I'd really like to see this patched in next gen just to perfect it. It's such a great game. So the last game on this list is my favourite RPG on the console by far. It's got a sequel, but I've not played it yet. However, I do own it, so it's there for me to dive into, but I'm fully aware of how many hours these games can take. Any fans of the RPG genre that are looking at something to play on the Switch needs to dive into Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's an amazing game. I love everything about it. The world, the characters, the combat, the lot. It's all brilliant. It does suffer with some frame rate and resolution issues though, which is why it's made it to this list. I absolutely adore this game, and the thought of them patching it for next gen just to perfect it would be a dream come true. I don't think it'll ever happen. I do think one day it'll get a full remaster, probably as will the third one, but I shouldn't comment too much on that as I've not played it. It's an amazing game, guys, and I would love to see a little patch just to tweak it on next gen. And there we go, folks, that's my list of Nintendo Switch games that I feel like could just do with a slight tweak to perfect them. I have no issues with any of the games on the list. As a matter of fact, they're some of my absolute favourites. Please leave down in the comments below any thoughts you have, any games that you'd like to see enhanced. I'd really love to read those. Guys, if you've been wondering where I've been, I've simply been working very hard. I do plan on releasing more videos now. I'm back into YouTube. I absolutely love it. However, I'm not going to be sticking to a strict schedule. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all again real soon.